All right, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Fourth and Wine. And I have brought along with me a very special guest, Marquis. Say hello to the people.
What's happening? Happy to be here. Thanks for having me again, Sash.
So today we are going to be talking about our game against the Steelers, which we came out with the win today, which is very exciting. And we're going to be trying a new white wine.
Okay.
So everyone keep listening. You are checking out Fourth and Wine. All right. So today we are going to be trying a new white wine. You all right over there?
Just when you started off, you say, all right. Sound like you saying, Kevin Hart me, all right.
You're annoying.
Well, no, you good.
We're going to have to limit these guest appearances.
It's Fourth and Wine, dude.
Oh my God.
Let's get to it.
So
What's the wine of the week? What's the wine of the week?
The wine of today is the Eau de Mer. It's a Muscadet. It is
Very
demure, very mindful. It's a white wine. It is said to be a crisp and dry wine. I have not tried it yet, so y'all getting a lot of tasting from Marquis and I today. But it is a very simple wine. The bottle is it has a white label on it with the picture of an oyster, which will lead me into the pairings for this wine. So you can pair it with a lot of different seafoods. So you can pair it with oysters, different shellfish, seafood, salmon, light pastas, white wine.
Okay.
If you listen to Fourth and Wine, you already know what a crisp white wine can pair with. Keep it light, keep it right, okay? So this wine in particular comes from the Loire Valley region, which is in France. One of the biggest wine regions in France, one of the most prominent, because you can grow a ton of different grape varieties in this area. So it stretches along the Loire River, which once was used a lot for transportation. No longer, because it's filled up with mud, dirt, so it's just too shallow for transportation to happen. But it stretches 300 miles north and 300 miles west in France, and the valley and the region that grows all of these great and beautiful grapes runs right along that river. So the Muscadet is one of the leading wine appellations in France. And a wine appellation, if you did not know, means that the wine region is legally governed to say, hey, this area is great for growing some grapes. Okay. And it meets a certain standard of grape growing.
Meaning criteria.
Yeah.
Okay.
So meaning the soil meets a certain standard, the grape varieties meet a certain standard, so you can get some of the best wine from this region.
Got you.
Particularly Sauvignon Blanc and Chenin Blanc are the two main white wines that come from the Loire Valley region.
Oh, okay.
This isn't this particular brand, but I have tried some Sauvignon Blancs and Chenin Blancs on this podcast, through the episodes.
So you said it's called an appellation?
An appellation. That's just the area.
So basically it's like a governing body basically saying, yo.
No, it's not a group. It's just an area.
Okay. Oh, I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's basically just an area of France or an area of the region that is the most ideal for growing these types of grapes. The soil is good. The air is good. The grapes, will grow the best and produce the best tasting wine.
Yes, when it comes to wine.
Yep. I'm saying for wine. Okay. Yep. No, that's solid.
So this is said to be a very crisp and dry wine. So we're going to pour up a glass and we're going to try it out.
Pour me up.
So first,
Let me grab mine.
First, you always got to do a visual. Let's do a visual.
Let the people know what we're looking for right now.
So right now, we just want to look for color. What would you say? What color do you see? What do you say it looks like?
I would say this is a amber color, like a light gold color. I'm not you give it a little swirl.
So yeah, amber.
Yeah, I would say amber.
Okay, I'd say more of like a yellow, a wheat, very light, very thin.
Wheat. Yeah, that's a good description, like a wheat color.
And if we swirl it around a little bit and check out the legs, it released some of the aromas. So not too many legs on here. It's a few.
Few, but not a lot.
Yep.
Which leads me to believe that it's not a lot of sugar in it.
When the legs are a little bit slower, they move down the glass a little bit slower. It tends to mean there's a lot of sugar.
It's a high sugar content.
Right.
Yeah.
And let's just give it a smell. What do you smell?
Doesn't really smell sweet.
No.
I smell like, if you can smell butter, like I smell like butter, very like savory is what I smell more so.
So I'm getting like a lot of citrus notes out of this, like peaches, things like that.
Yeah, I can see that. I'm getting a little like orange zest and a little honestly, I would say like a little lemon as well.
Yeah, very citrus.
Yeah.
So let's give it a taste.
Yeah, it's what I thought. Like, it's not super sweet.
No.
It's not sweet.
And it's like the wine actually is described. It is crisp. It's dry.
Yeah.
It's simple.
Simple. Like, right to the point. Yeah, I think this wine is good for like an in-between. Like people, I know like a lot of wines that you review are like, that kind of fall into this I guess this range where it's like, it's not too sweet, it's not too bitter, it's like right in the middle. So people that don't like super sweet wine, like Moscato ain't your thing, or like super dry wine like Chardonnay or some of the reds that you review aren't really your thing. I think this is like a solid like in between.
Agreed. I think Marquis might be a wine connoisseur.
Nah, but it is good. It is good.
It is.
And we're having it right now, like room temperature, which is solid. But if chill wine is your thing and you like to drink a glass of chill wine, this probably tastes good. Throwing in the fridge, or like if you bougie and you got a wine cooler, hey, try it out.
Maybe I need to be bougie and have a wine cooler.
I'll get you a wine cooler, babe.
All right. Well, let's get into the sports of it all. All right.
That's your Mary Reese voice?
No, that was my like newscaster voice that I know.
That's what that was.
Yeah, I didn't sound like that. No,
it sounded like that. You definitely had some type of voice on. I didn't know what it was. It sounded like you was on Fox News.
Yes. Maybe not Fox.
Yeah, not Fox.
Anyway, so did you see the video from the Jalen Hurts lookalike contest?
Yeah, I saw the video. None of them dudes look like Jalen. It was like one guy on there kind of looked like Jalen. Mm-hmm. The rest of them was just random. And they had two girls in there. Like,
if they had the two women up there as the Jalen Hurts lookalike, hell, I look like Jalen Hurts then.
Like Jalen Hurts. Everybody like Jalen. They look like Jalen. We all look like Jalen. They up there with micro braids individuals.
Oh my gosh. That contest was
one bull just had shades
funny
on.
to say the least. Light-skinned bull pulled up with a high top fade and said he was Jalen with some shades on.
With some shades on. Somebody should have
and
had
a duffel.
Somebody should have had backwards Kango had looked like Jalen.
With that vest, Jalen always wearing that Kango and the sweatshirt.
Hate it.
Okay.
Jalen, still my guy, man.
Let him do his thing.
Still my guy, bro.
But speaking of Jalen Hurts, let's talk a little bit.
Let's get into it.
So, actually, I'm going to just start off here. So, Sidney Brown left the game after the kickoff due to injury. As soon as kickoff, Sidney Brown was running along with the special teams, exited the game with a concussion and didn't return. So, more to come, more updates on Sidney Brown probably over the next few days or even over the next couple of hours.
Prayers to Sidney, man. Hope you're doing it. Hope you're good, man.
Yeah, I hope he is good. Sidney Brown can't catch a break. Yeah. He cannot catch a break.
Sidney Brown like reminds me of like Avante, like a few years or so ago. Like,
yeah,
you know, it's like smaller guys like him and Avante. If you might not know, but going even a few years back, like a couple years back, there was this guy called named Bob Sanders who played for the Colts. Undersized, but like physical. And for whatever reason, like those guys, when they put their body, you know, they play very physical and they put their body like, you know, in harm's way a lot to make plays. Yeah. They're always hurt. I don't know. It's because they're smaller and their bodies just can't take the punishment. But like Sidney Brown can't catch a break, man. Avante a couple years ago was getting hit with the injury bug left and right, man. It's like every time we turn around, like he hurt, just came back and he's already first play of the game. He out. So it's like, yeah. I hope he's good. That was a crazy play though. So he definitely led with his head when he tried to make that tackle. So definitely got to be conscious of, head injuries and concussions, things like that. But I hope he good.
Yeah. Agreed. Same. All right. So for the first drive of the game, Steelers started off with the ball. Defense got him out, 3 and out. Defense started the game off on fire. As always, our defense definitely always has our back. Now, offensively, when we came onto the field, first couple plays of the drive, Calcaterra made a catch. Jalen made a connection with A.J. Brown.
Yeah, he did.
Then made another with Devontae Smith.
Smitty.
And then we did a run and play. Now, we started the game off with 3 passes. And all last week, unless you live under a rock, you couldn't avoid hearing the drama about the Eagles and their passing offense. Yeah. And it was just a hot topic. So just some quick stats from the game. So Jalen Hurts had a 78% completion rate, threw for 290 yards, which is the most that he's thrown over the last 2 games.
They had a good game.
So I heard also throughout the week, a lot of people commenting on the Eagles and whether or not the Eagles could make a significant playoff run. Yeah. And if Jalen could even throw the ball. And I feel like we go through this every few weeks. And then Jalen has a game similar to this to show you he can throw the ball a little bit. Yeah. However, do you think Jalen Hurts is the problem? Because I was watching some clips from, I think it's called The Facility now on FS1 with Emmanuel Acho, Shady, and James Jones. And he said that Jalen Hurts was the problem. Yeah. That if we wanted to make it to a Super Bowl, Jalen Hurts was the problem. Do you think Jalen Hurts is our problem?
I don't think he's the problem. I think Jalen is a product of coaching, I will say. I think that Jalen is a guy that has had question marks around him since he came into the league, if we're being honest, since even going back to college. If you want to even reach back to him at Alabama, he lost his spot to Tua. Like, Jalen's struggles have been documented, for quite some time now. This year, he has played a lot better. The knocks on Jalen from last season, he was turning the ball over a ton. He heard all of that. He knew that was a big reason why the offense sputtered out a lot, why we ended up losing games we should have won, because he was turning over the ball way, way, way too much. So this year, I feel like Jalen is trying to not turn the ball over. He's trying to protect the ball as much as he can. But on the flip side of that, he is not as aggressive with getting the ball out to the open receiver or getting the ball out to wherever the play was designed to go. When he's going through his reads, it's clear that he doesn't want to throw an interception. He doesn't want to turn the ball over. So in the midst of that, he's missing guys that are open or could be open or could catch the ball had he give them the chance to do so. So, and we saw that, and not this game, but we saw that more in the last few weeks, where guys were running wide open down the middle of the field, or guys were wide open in the flat. He's patting the ball, holding the ball, wait for them to get completely open. And in the NFL, nobody's completely open. You got to get guys the ball when they got a little bit of space. And the receivers that we got are talented enough that he could do that. So to your question, no, I don't think he's the problem. I think that overall the coaching and the play calling has affected his ability to cut it loose and play a little bit more free.
And kind of to piggyback off of that, Jalen being the product of coaching, I think, to your point, yes, this season, Jalen has focused a lot more on not turning the ball over and not turning it over since the bye, because it started off that at the beginning of the season where it looked like Jalen was going to have another season
full of turnovers.
Of turnovers. Yep. Now, I will say, it is a little bit of coaching, a little bit of Jalen Hurts' confidence. But I think Jalen also, I don't know who's calling the plays and when they're giving him the opportunity to make the decision on his own.
Facts.
But I think that Jalen tends to only play well when he's coached well.
Yeah.
Jalen isn't the quarterback you're going to have that can't be coached well. Like, he has to have a good coaching staff around him, in my opinion. I feel like he'll have moments of struggle if coaching isn't 100%. Part of me feels like in some ways, and this isn't a knock on him by any means, I feel like, but part of him in some sense will rely more on the coaching and the play calls rather than himself.
Yeah. And with that, I think that just watching the game, like, and being an Eagles fan and like knowing the team and like the dynamics and stuff like that, like the type of player that Jalen is, like, you have to think about where he's come from. Jalen had his pop. His pop was his high school coach. He respects the hell out of his dad. And he played high school football in Texas, which a lot of people deem the mecca of, high school football. Texas and Florida, but Texas having an edge over Florida for being like the top state to produce talent.
He respects coaching.
And he balled out and got a full ride to Alabama, where he had Nick Saban. Solid coach, no BS coach, strict, let you know how it is, but get you ready for the next level. Then he transfers to Oklahoma, where he had Lincoln Riley, another solid coach, where he put out top talent, Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray.
Yep.
Sam Bradford, I believe he coached Sam Bradford as well. I could be wrong about that, but I think Sam Bradford was there when Lincoln Riley was the coach. But nevertheless, Jalen respects coaches. Mm-hmm. So the fact that Nick Sirianni is a little bit different than what he's accustomed to. Nick is a little bit more of a laid back guy. Doesn't really take the reins. Doesn't really seem to have a good grip on offense or game situations, and doesn't really seem to, at least from Jalen's perspective. This is me just.
This is you, yeah.
Hypothetical. You know what I mean? Just hypothetical. But it don't seem like Sirianni is a guy that demands respect from his team. You know what I mean? They all love him. They all play for him. They all say how much they love Sirianni.
Yeah.
But it's definitely different than how a team would talk about Mike Tomlin versus Nick Sirianni. You know what I mean? So Jalen, I feel like, has to respect the coach in order for him to feel confident in the offensive game plan. And I don't think for a large part of last season, and a little bit of this season, I think, he didn't have a complete buy-in of what was going on, because honestly, the respect wasn't really there for me for real. But I think that given the opportunity and given better play calling and better situations where he's put in positions where he can make the best play, we've seen that we've seen the fruits of that labor. Yeah. So, and today I think was a good sign of that.
Yeah. Now I will say, as far as the passing offense today, everyone was worried about Jalen force feeding the ball to AJ, and I don't feel like he did that. I do feel like there were moments, obviously AJ got more involved, but I think them passing the ball, getting AJ involved, getting Devontae more involved, all were a product of the Steelers defense. Because against that Steelers defense, you're not running the ball on them. One of the top rushing defenses in the league. You are not getting the ball on the ground with this Steelers defense. It was tougher. It was tougher today for them to get the ball moving. Yeah. So with that being said, Saquon, who is on track and on pace to be, the most rushing yards in the league. Yeah. Saquon wasn't able to get off, and they didn't actually give him as many touches this game as they usually would. Yeah. Saquon only had 19 carries, didn't have any touchdowns, and he only rushed for 65 yards, which the only other game where he's rushed for less than 65 yards was his game against the Cleveland Browns right after the bye.
Okay.
So that's a testament to this defense. Also, along with the Browns, you say what you want about the Browns, but they've got some good guys on defense.
Well, historically, even going back to the days of Troy Polamalu and Joey Porter, and the Steelers have had historically, they've always had a good defense.
Mm-hmm.
Always had a good defense. It's always been hard to run the ball against the Pittsburgh Steelers. They Mike Tomlin just, for whatever issues they got on offense, that never seems to proceed over to the defensive side of the ball with the Steelers. So I knew coming into this game that running the ball against them was going to be hard. It's not going to be easy. TJ Watt, Cam Hayward, whoever they got, the Steelers draft defensive players well. So I know that it was going to be a test. But it was clear that they made it a point to get AJ and Devontae involved early. And not just involved all right, let me give y'all a couple of passes, get y'all going a little bit. No, let's really get y'all in a rhythm so that we can.
They needed that.
Yeah, we can continue to capitalize on y'all on these cornerbacks.
They needed that.
And AJ, I think AJ had 8 touches, not touches, but 8 catches for 100 yards, 110 yards. Mm-hmm. Devontae had 10 or 11 catches today. So it was clear that the emphasis this week for the game plan was get AJ and Devontae involved early. And as a result, Saquon didn't have as big of a game because AJ and Devontae balled out this game. And that's honestly, that's just how it is.
It's not going to be every game.
It's not going to be every game where your running back get off and your receivers get off. It's either
or.
It's one or the other.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Or it's
they're both equal. Like,
but you blowing the team out. You're not against a Steelers defense when you're playing those type games.
It's like, all right, well, Saquon get like 15 to 17 carries for like maybe 85 yards, and Devontae got 7 catches. AJ got 9 catches.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Jalen passed for like 215 to 225, something like that. But it's not going to be Jalen passed for 350 yards and Saquon ran for 150. Like, it's not how that works in the NFL, especially with a defense like the Steelers.
Yeah, exactly.
They're going to give you one. They're going to give you the pass, and they're going to give you the run it. And today, it was the pass.
But when you've got a team like the Eagles, and offensively, you got a ton of weapons. Like, our wide receiver 1 and 2 could be wide receiver 1s anywhere.
Devontae's a bona fide number 1 receiver on any other team
anywhere.
Besides the Bengals, I would say the Bengals and the Vikings. Any other team in the league, Devontae's number 1.
1,000%. So when you've got top talent like that on your offense, you can't come to a team like the Eagles and expect everything to be about you all the time. You got Saquon Barkley, you got AJ Brown, and you got Devontae. Then when Goddard's healthy, you got him in the mix.
And that's why, but to that point right there, that's why Jalen gets so much criticism, because he has everything. Like, you got a number 1 in AJ, you got a number 1 in Devontae, you got the best running back in the league, you got top 5 tight end in the league in Goddard when he's healthy. You got the top 2 offensive line in the league for 5+ years.
You can't fault, and I'm not saying you're doing this, but you can't fault people for having a good team around them. That's how you win.
You can't. But that's what I'm saying, though. But because sometimes it looks like Jalen is struggling, or the offense looks like it's sputtering out, and they have all of these things. It's like, yo, like, what's going on? Like, there's no way you should be struggling like this when other teams might have one of these pieces. Yeah. You might get a good line, not a good receiver, or you might get a good running back and not a good line. You got every component, bro.
I think sometimes Jalen also just doesn't look smooth. And I know we were talking about it earlier. It doesn't look like it flows for him. Yeah. He makes a play, and things come to fruition. He makes the connection, or he uses his legs and he makes the run, but it never looks smooth. It never looks confident. Like, it never looks like he knows that that's what was going to happen. It looks like it just happened by chance. But you can't tell me, when you've got these weapons on offense and him being your quarterback, like, these things don't happen by chance, regardless of how they might look. I don't think it's luck. No. You've got a good quarterback in Jalen. Yeah. I'm not saying, the guy is MVP of the league, but he has played up to a couple years ago. We talked about Jalen being an MVP. Like, we did talk about that. Was a serious conversation. It was.
And to me, granted, even with him turning the ball over in that Super Bowl, he outplayed Patrick Mahomes. To me,
1,000%.
To me, but
everyone could say that.
But to keep it real though, like, I think Jalen's a good quarterback.
Yes.
I think that sometimes, and what we just talked about with him having all of these weapons and having this receiver, that receiver, this running back, this O-line, I think that he feels the pressure sometimes to get everybody involved.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, dang, I got AJ, let me feed AJ. I got Smitty, let me get Smitty. So let me get him. Let's get him going. Oh, damn, I can't forget. I got Saquon. Let's get the ball to let me check down to some runs real quick so Saquon can get going, because he has to get in the rhythm too. Oh, I got Goddard. Let's get Goddard in the offense, get him going, because these linebackers, they can't cover him and they can't tackle him. Like, I got this line. Let's run the ball. Oh, and I can run the ball too, so let me get going. So I think that
it's a lot of moving pieces.
It's a lot to think about when you have, like, kind of this wealth of riches that we have right now with the offense, and he's just trying to manage it. And I think that sometimes when it doesn't look as smooth, I think it's because he's just trying to get everybody involved, and like you stealing from Peter to pay Paul.
Yep.
Like, I'm stealing. I gotta steal some burn from Saquon so I can get AJ going, or I gotta steal some burn from AJ so I can get Smitty and Saquon going. And it doesn't look smooth, because it's like, if that's not what's working, if the defense is keying on those people, then you gotta go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Despite you trying to get them involved, if the defense is shutting them down, like yo, we got to go somewhere else.
And speaking of defense, let's talk a little bit about defense.
Balling.
They got into a little skerfuffle this past.
What you call it?
A skerfuffle.
A skerfuffle?
I don't know.
How you spell that?
SCRU
Fuffle.
You fuffle. Anyway, they got into a little squabble.
Yeah.
Squabble up.
Squabble up.
Squabble up. Squabble up. Anyway, they got into a little something
Shout out to K-Dot.
Yes, because one of the offensive linemen decided he was going to push Slay.
I think we're going to that concert too.
Are we now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kendrick and SZA.
Squabble up. I thought we was gonna go to the Super Bowl concert. I was gonna say, "Oh, squabble up." Not that one.
Super Bowl tickets crazy.
No, not that one.
Crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, one of the linemen decided to push Slay, and Q said, "You ain't messing with my old head like that."
Yeah,
Q
nah.
pulled right on up, and you know Jalen Carter always want to smoke. My guy, Jalen Carter,
Looking for the smoke.
He looking for
the smoke.
Spicy. He always looking for it, and I love
in the mix
that. I love they got this fight in them.
These young boys got grit to them.
Yes,
man.
I
We
love
said
it.
this in the beginning of the season where it's like,
We needed that.
yo, like last season, man, our defense didn't have any type of bite or any type of toughness to it. Like,
You still be gaming?
like I still have flashbacks and nightmares of the 49ers walking through our DB line while they doing drills and they looking at James Bradbury and they punking him. Like, come on, bro. That was a bad look. And that was a home game. Like, they came here and did that. Yo, it'd have been different if we was out San Fran. They came here and did that, bro. But Quinyon ain't going for that. Jalen always went to smoke.
Always. I love Jalen Carter.
Jordan Davis did. Milton Williams, like, and then Josh. When Josh Sweat making plays, he on that type time too. And you already know what Zach Bond and my man N'Kobe doing. And Nolan,
I'm so proud of little Nolan this season.
More importantly, like what that shows me is like they genuinely like they like each other, which is a good. Which is people downplay like. Well, if you haven't played football, you're like, oh, they don't gotta like each other. But not like no, like in a locker room, like you want to look over to the next man and be like, man, like you got my back, bro. Like if something happened on the field, and I get cheap shotted, I want to trust that you gonna have my back because I would do the same thing for you.
Yeah.
So when I watched Quinyon stick up for
pull up
Slay. When Darius Slay getting blocked all the way down the field, which was
that was wild. He was like, nutty for that.
Like the tight end drew for that because that's unnecessary, bro. Because like he wasn't nowhere near.
Is that what it was? A tight end?
I think it was a tight end,
It
but
was like
like
number 80, I think.
But Quinyon clearly wasn't feeling that, and then Jalen Carter don't need no excuse to get in the mix
at all. He right with it.
So it like it's good to see that they not backing down from nobody, and yeah, and especially like you home, like you in Philly, bro. Like this our city, and you not coming here and just think you're gonna do whatever. Like that's not flying. Because we want to expect to come to Pittsburgh and be able to do that, and you not have a reaction.
Period.
So don't think you coming here and doing the same thing.
Period.
Shout out to Quinyon Mobay, my guy.
Shout out to Q. I love it. Speaking of defense, and you was talking about last year's defense.
Yeah.
Where's Waldo? Where the heck
Waldo?
is James Bradbury?
Oh, Bradbury. I don't know where Bradbury at.
What is that? Is he coming back? Like,
I don't know.
what's going on? He's got to be on IR, but like, what is that? It like, I feel like everyone's just forgotten about him. We got these two new young DBs in Q and Cooper DeJean. Reed been balling out. Slay. It's just like, where's Waldo? Where is Q?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's up with Bradbury.
Like,
I'm trying to look. I was trying to look it up too. And see, like, is he not hurt? He can't still be hurt.
It was just like a knee.
Yeah, like it can't. It's not that. I don't know if they preserving him for the end of the season, for the playoffs, in case somebody get hurt. But like, there's been an opportunity where he could have came and gotten the lineup, like, And he hasn't. Like Reed was hurt a couple games ago, you know what I mean? And technically Bradbury's the backup safety, so he should have played last game because Reed was out. But I don't know.
Eagles think they slick. They hiding them.
Nah, I honestly don't know. I think maybe what they're trying to do is, I think Bradbury is a scratch for this season. And they just trying to do right by him and just not put him on film to make him look more exposed to mess up another contract for him.
That's a valid take.
Yeah, which is an admirable thing for the Eagles to do. Because they like, yo, you know, Bradbury, man, we respect you. We like you as a person.
I like James Bradbury too.
Last season didn't go as planned because it was a lot. Last season was crazy. Like the defensive situation was crazy.
And I don't blame anyone on defense for last season.
And he played through all of that, which I give him credit for because
it was hell.
Side and it went to it was a mess.
Matt Patricia last season was definitely a mess.
It was bad
for anyone to play in.
And he was playing nickel. He was playing outside corner. He was playing safety sometimes. It was like and it didn't look good because one, he wasn't playing in position.
He's not playing his normal position. Exactly. Why would he look good? Exactly. Why?
So they kept him. They didn't cut him. They kept him this year, but now they're saying, "Oh, we got Cooper DeJean back. Oh, he can play. We got Quinyon. He can play. Slay is back. Reed can play. We got CJ GJ back there making plays."
How much longer you think Slay will play?
I think Slay. Probably another 2 years.
2?
Yeah, I think after this season, I think Slay probably got 2 more years because I don't think with Slay, it's more so not him losing his step. Because he's not that type of corner where he run and strive. Slay's more like, at this stage, he's just a technician in the sense where it's like he knows what the receiver is going to do because he's a solid vet. He
know the route.
He's seen every route. He's sitting right on every route. Like he know what you're doing. I think for Slay, it's just going to be about like what's going to get him in the end is what we see right now. It's just injuries.
Yeah. He's been pretty banged up and playing
up, like throughout the game. I don't think I've ever seen him get like him sit down as much from like, you know, plays throughout the game where he got to take a couple plays off. Like I've never seen that. So I think like as the game gets a little bit more or he plays a little bit longer, I think we're starting to see like him just the body break down after a while, man. Like that's just what it is.
But overall,
and he's a physical corner. So it's like he's not just out there he's not trying to tackle. So like when you play physical like he does.
Last season, I don't know. Him and Bradbury seemed like they was. I don't know what was going on. They tackling now.
Slay been tackling this year.
Oh, for sure. He made a few today. But actually, this won't be the last thing. But let's talk a little bit about something I mentioned before the game that I felt like we would really need to be strong with our special teams. So today, Jake Elliott, Braden Mann, how you feeling about special teams overall, our kicker, our punter? First, I'll give you my thoughts. So Braden Mann had a pretty bad punt this game. Not a far punt, gave the Pittsburgh Steelers a pretty decent advantage. I think he kicked it to the 30-yard line and gave him pretty much a short field. Jake Elliott over the last few weeks has struggled significantly to make kicks. And I thought today it was a little chilly out, but I feel like it kind of warmed up. The wind chilled out a little bit. It was like 35 degrees. Wind chill made it feel like 31. 12-mile-an-hour winds, I kind of thought maybe that would have some effect on them today. But overall, despite the fumble from Cooper DeJean, I think special teams did a pretty solid job. I think Jake Elliott, he went out there today. And Jake Elliott went 2 for 2 for field goals, 3 for 3 for extra points. He didn't miss a kick today compared to his previous weeks where it was just a little bit inconsistency. And I will commend the coaching staff. I'll commend Nick Sirianni, the team, for not giving up on their special teams. and still kind of having the confidence in them to go, cool, we made it down the field. Let's bring out our kicking team. Let's get the 3 points. Let's take it. Let's not be aggressive. Because there was moments where just be aggressive. Just go for it. Yeah. And they still had a lot of confidence in Jake Elliott to come out there and kick the field goal rather than risking a fourth down.
Nah, Jake, he redeemed himself today. It's been an up and down season for him. Honestly, the kicking throughout this season for every team has been like up and down. Yeah. I don't know what it is. I don't know if like they switched like footballs and like they put more air in them or less air. Like I don't know what it is, but like these kickers just haven't been seeing it this year in terms of like accuracy. Yeah. And like a kick that should be a walk in the park for most kick, like they struggling to hit that extra points. Like they missing those, and it's like I don't know what's going on with that. But Jake, today was a good showing from the special teams.
Yeah.
Aside from Coop fumbling that ball, which is going to happen because one, he's a rookie. Two, he's not used to getting tackled, that much by NFL. Like this is the NFL. Like you're not in college no more, bro. Like dudes can hit.
You're playing with the big boys now.
Like dudes can hit, and they looking to take your head off.
Yep.
This ain't college. You're not playing Western Illinois State, bro. Like these dudes can hit.
Everybody can play.
You got to protect the ball. So I think it's a lesson learned for him. You know what I mean? Just to, as he's returning kicks and stuff, just to protect the ball a little bit more, maybe secure the laces. Just fundamentals. But he'll get that. But how you feeling about the game? Like overall, we haven't talked about that. Like overall, how you feeling about this win?
Overall, this one feels really good. Now, this game against the Steelers and our last game against the Ravens, both aren't necessarily... I mean, it's important to win every game. Don't get me wrong.
Facts.
But these are just feel-good wins. Like, we also need to focus very much on the NFC. And this win felt good. The Steelers are top 3 in the AFC. I believe right now it's the Chiefs, the Bills, maybe then the Steelers.
Baltimore, which we already beat.
Well, Baltimore is actually behind the Steelers. The Steelers are number 1 in the AFC North. We played every team in the AFC North this season. The Browns, Bengals, Steelers, and the Ravens. Mm-hmm. I think the Ravens are now 8-5.
And we 4-0 against the AFC.
Yes, we are 4-0 against the AFC. Boom! Mic drop. 4-0 against the AFC. However, the Steelers pretty much probably got that one in the bag. They're probably going to win that division out. The Ravens are in the hunt right now.
And we beat the Ravens.
Yeah, and the Ravens are in the hunt. But the Steelers are one of the top teams in their entire conference. And then we're number 2, and I believe they're like 3 or 4 in their conference.
Okay. Yeah, I got to check the rankings. But for me, though, I think it was a good win. Like, the Steelers, like I touched on earlier, like, Mike Tomlin is a good coach. And Russell Wilson seems to be getting some type of getting his form back from, a few years back when he was with Seattle. Had a down year with Denver, but he seems to be hitting his stride again with Mike Tomlin, and they were clicking. This was a good win, and in the midst of all the BS with Jalen and AJ not being on the same page and everything we heard in the media,
always
like Philly sports media, in my opinion, is trash.
That's why we here, baby.
And then we had, it's crazy when the national media pick it up. When I'm hearing about AJ and Jalen on First Take, or I'm hearing about it on FS1, it's like, when have y'all ever talked about the Eagles to this degree?
I mean, it's because we winning, and
they love to hate us though, because at the end of the day, if this was Jamar and freaking Joe Burrow, would this be
national news.
Well,
Like
the Bengals, smaller market, no
it
one
don't
cares.
matter.
The
It's
Eagles
two
are
prominent
getting
players.
more of a
It's
fan
more
base.
So my point. Yeah, it's like it's so in the midst of all of that, and them basically coming out like, yo, nothing, y'all blowing his way out of proportion because AJ essentially he just said passing was the issue. He didn't say
That's a lot
quarterback.
of things.
He didn't say Jalen. He was just like, yo, we gotta go on the same page with passing. And that's an in-depth answer. Whereas though passing just ain't one person, it's everybody playing their role.
That's your quarterback.
So receivers got to run the right routes. They got to see the right coverage. The quarterback got to see the right coverage and throw the ball where it's supposed to go. And the situation and the line got to block. So
And that's play calling too. That's on the coach.
So you can say he said passing just to encompass all of that. He didn't just say, yo, my quarterback just got to get me the ball. But whatever.
And I feel like Jamar Chase has actually said Burrow need to get me the ball during this season.
Nah, Burrow.
Jamar
ain't gonna say that.
No.
Burrow is man.
I hear it. They are close. I'm not saying they not. But Jamar Chase did make a little shady comment that pretty much said, I guess Joe Burrow don't be seeing me. I'm always open.
I do remember he said something to that degree. But bringing it back to the Eagles, it was a good win. It was a good win against a good team. Granted, they're not in the NFC. It's an AFC team, but it's a good win. Like anytime you can get a win against the Steelers, like you gotta, and it's a good Steelers team. It's not the Steelers with Kenny Pickett, even though we got Kenny Pickett on our team.
Oh, that is insane. No one even mentioned that story.
Like, that wasn't
clearly
a storyline.
no one cares about the storyline of Kenny Pickett. Probably because he wouldn't play.
Nah, but it was like honestly, it clicked on all cylinders. Offense played well. Jalen played well. Protected the ball.
Except for that one fumble.
One fumble. He didn't throw any interceptions, but he fumbled the ball because he was running, doing too much.
But T.J. Watt, he's a good player.
T.J. Watt is just a future Hall of Famer, so he's going to make plays. But Jalen has to protect the ball better.
Yeah.
But offense played well. Yeah. Defense flying around, the pass rush flying around, getting to the ball.
Shout out to Joshua today, Nakobe Dean. I feel like a lot of them. Nolan Smith, Zach Bond.
Nolan balled out today.
Shout out to them for really stepping up today. Pass rush, though, honestly, has been very inconsistent. It's not that it isn't good. It's just I only see glimpses of it every now and again.
We're missing BG. That's all.
We are, which is a hurt piece. Shout out to BG. But anyway, let's talk about, that felt like a good win today against a good AFC team.
Russell Wilson's a good quarterback.
Yes, he is. But let's talk a little bit, and then this will be our last segment. But talk a little bit. Next week, we're playing against the Commanders. The Eagles have clinched a playoff spot along with the Lions.
There was a Washington football team. They can. They're the Commanders.
Yeah, I call them the Commanders. Yeah.
I know a couple Commanders fans. Redskins fans.
Commanders. It is the Commanders. So the Eagles have clinched the playoff spot along with the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions are still number one in the NFC. They still need to lose. I think we need some help. They need to lose another game. They lost today against the Bills. Shout out to the Bills. Shout out to Josh. That might be in the bag for Josh to win MVP unless Saquon comes through and breaks the NFL rushing record.
Saquon got to go for 2,000 yards to get the MVP at this point.
Yeah, 1,000%. Because Josh Allen is balling. But anyway, so right now in the hunt, the Commanders still in the hunt to make the playoffs, and we haven't yet clinched and won our division. Like we still have to play our last games of the season are the Commanders, the Cowboys, and the Giants. Yeah. How you feeling going into next week?
I feel good
against the Commanders.
I feel good. Granted, we got to play at DC, but we're not taking that L. Mm-hmm. I'm not worried about the Commanders. Mm-hmm. It's still a rookie quarterback. I think the league has caught up, at least right now, with Jaden Daniels. Like, he's a good quarterback. Yep. My man is a Heisman Trophy winner. I'm not saying that he can't play. However, all that, success that he was having in the beginning of the season,
They figured him out.
I feel like they figured him out, or at least they figured him out at this stage in his career,
Yes.
which is, he's a rookie. If we throw a lot of stuff at him, mix up some coverages, he can get confused, might get the ball out sooner than he wants to. And he doesn't do well with pressure. So I feel like, those are our strengths. We get to the pass, we get to the quarterback, we can run the ball. We have elite receivers.
Yep.
The Commanders haven't shown to stop any receivers. They only won today by a point. And
that's the problem.
To a backup quarterback.
Because Derek Carr's out.
Yeah. So they was in a tight game with a backup quarterback and Spencer Rattler. So I'm not at all worried about the Commanders.
And only lost because the Saints, I feel like, made a poor decision. You could have kicked a field goal. I watched highlights of the game because I'm more worried about and focused on my Eagles. But you could have kicked a field goal, took that into overtime. But instead, they decided to go for 2.
Could have
missed the 2-point conversion. But Terry McLaurin, so I saw, had a pretty solid game. However, our corners locked him up last game. I didn't notice that Terry McLaurin even played last game. Yeah. So I feel like I'm sure the Washington Commanders have watched tape on us. We play them multiple times a year. The receivers are going to figure out how to get open. Yeah. They're going to figure out the defense schemes. But I think, to your point, the Commanders are a beatable team.
Yeah. I mean,
and there's nothing to it.
Not brushing them off because end of the day, the Commanders they are who they are. Like, it's the Washington Commanders, the Washington Redskins,
Stop calling them the Redskins.
Yeah, but that's just the team that I grew up knowing who them to be. But your divisional teams, your divisional opponents know you're the best. So like your biggest tests are going to be the teams where you got to see twice a year. That's why we play. That's why the Cowboys play is so tough.
Yeah,
the Commanders play
which is
tough.
why I asked you. So do you think
Giants,
it's still a winnable game?
Aside from the Giants, yeah, I still think it's a winnable game. I also think that the successes that we had in the first time we played them might not be
the same.
It might not be as easy. So,
they're going to watch the tape.
Yeah,
they're going to understand.
They might try to take Saquon away a little bit earlier, load the box up so we can't, run the ball as easily as we did before.
Yep.
They might try to double up AJ, early in the game to try to take him away. Try to get Terry McLaurin in some situations.
They'll figure out how to get him open.
They'll try. They'll try to.
1,000%.
They'll definitely try to. They'll try to. They got some good players.
But if our defense continues on the path that they have been, I am 1,000% confident that we can win. It is just a matter. No, it is just a matter of us on defense staying consistent. Honestly. Yeah. And being prepared and not brushing them off. Because I know we do that. We do that a lot, especially with our defense. They young, they get a little cocky, they be feeling themselves. Because a few games we were leading by, over 15 points. And they kindly just was like, let's make them feel good. Let them get the touchdown.
They get cocky. They take their foot off the gas.
And you can't do that. And I think we need to put our foot on the gas, especially to show. And I just feel like put our foot down. Like, I don't care. Put your foot down. Put your foot down. You want to be here. The Eagles are exactly who you think we are. We are the bullies of the NFL. The Niners thought they were going to be that, but here we go. I legit don't have time. Don't take your foot off the gas. I want dominance, and I want the Eagles. I want everyone, when they come here to play us, I don't want anyone to ever feel like, I got a chance. I can try. You are not the little engine that could. It's over for you.
Took it back, a little engine that could.
I'm dead serious. Like, I don't have time.
Took it back with that one. But no, I feel what you're saying. We do have a tendency sometimes to overlook teams, and it comes back to bite us, which is why we lost games last season that we shouldn't have lost. Even just thinking about how we lost to the Giants and the Seahawks with Drew Lock, and just games that we should have never even been in, let alone lose. But Nick Sirianni kind of touched on like this piece a little bit a few weeks or so ago, and he was just like, yeah, we win, the team is having success, but that praise is also rat poison at the same time, because you praising these players, you praise them how good they are. They don't act like, at least they tell you they don't listen to sports radio, but they listen to it.
I watch them like in everybody's Instagram
and they
posts.
hear about it.
Oh,
How great we are, how great the defense is, how great Saquon is.
I hope they listen to Fourth and Wine.
We got Super Bowl aspirations. Oh, this team is a lock for the Super Bowl, blah, blah, blah. And they buy into that, and they get cocky, and they start feeling themselves. Then they lose to a team they shouldn't have lost to.
Exactly.
Because they cocky, and they feel like, they just got to go out there. Like Nick Saban talks about, when he was the coach with Alabama, like he would talk a lot about that too, in terms of like, yeah, we number one and we've been number one all season, but the more you praise my players, the harder it is for me to get them to show up and give 100% every day in practice and in the game. So, naming the game, don't take your foot off the gas, man.
At all.
The end of the season is here. We just got a few more games. We got to lock up so we can get a good seed in the playoffs. We can get a first round bye.
That would be nice.
And, any team that we got to play, they got to come to Philly to come see us, man.
So I need the Lions. Lions, please lose. I used to root for you guys because I thought y'all had a great story, but now, F y'all. But agreed. I'm excited for the rest of the season. I'm excited for us to finish off this NFC East division. Hopefully come out at the top of our division. We clinched the playoff spot, but it'd be nice to clinch that first week bye.
Definitely.
But guys, if you want to check out this wine, Eau de Mer is a Muscadet. It is from the Loire Valley region, and you can find this anywhere. It's Total Wine and Spirits, wherever you want to get it. It is a white, crisp, dry wine, and it is delicious. If I have to rank this wine, I'd probably give this a 4.3 out of 5. What about you?
That's high. That's pretty high.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Yeah,
I love it.
I would say about 4. About
Four?
a 4. Yeah.
4? Okay.
Solid 4.
Awesome.
Solid 4. Like I said, like it's not super sweet. It's not super bitter. It's right in the middle. Like you said, for people that, super sweet ain't their thing and bitter ain't their thing, but you don't want to look basic by getting a super sweet wine.
Ooh, you don't want to look basic.
You know what I mean? You might want to impress somebody.
Okay.
Like, people coming over the house for the holidays, you might want to break that out and show people you got a, refined palate when it comes to wine.
For sure.
Pick that up.
If you ever want to you want to fake it till you make it, you want to seem like, you got a quick variety of wine, a little bit of something.
It ain't just
Listen
Moscato.
to Fourth and Wine.
Yeah.
Buy some of the wines that I try.
And you
They're
know why?
good.
And low key, let me just make this last point. You know why? More people should listen to Fourth and Wine. Let me talk to my fellas real quick. Fellas, if you got a lady, you trying to get her into football, have her listen to Fourth and Wine. Sasha, my beautiful fiance, does an amazing job of not only breaking down the game so it's digestible, but breaking down the nuances, the pieces of the game, the players of the games, the other teams in the NFL that your lady might not know. She might just know the Eagles. But she breaks it down in a digestible manner so that your lady can get it, she can understand it, and so she can have have commentary with you about. Make her listen to have her listen to Fourth and Wine. And if you looking to grow your wine palate, man, you looking for some dope wine to pick up aside from the Moscato or whatever else has been in your refrigerator for forever. You looking to grow that. Listen to Fourth and Wine, man. Sasha breaks down different wines every week, different regions of France, Italy, Spain. She does a lot of research, a lot of thought goes into this process. So it's a dope concept, man. I definitely tap in. Definitely tap in.
Thank you.
Check out Fourth and Wine, man.
You're so special, y'all.
And ladies, if you got a guy that you talking to that he's super into football, but you don't know anything about football, listen to Fourth and Wine. You want to impress him. You want to keep him around. Holidays is coming up. You might want to get cuffed. you know that light might go off in his head if you show you like football a little bit, man, and you able to hold a conversation with him about football. Like, oh, you know, Patrick Mahomes passed for 200 yards yesterday. You think he gonna pass that against the next team he playing? You might mess him up with it. He might not know how to respond to that. And you got him. You missing out.
No, but seriously, thank you. I really appreciate that.
Facts.
But
super proud of you, baby.
But yeah. So thank you. That was really nice of you to say. But yes, listen to Fourth and Wine. I have some great wines. I do put a lot of time, effort into this. I like and enjoy doing this. My goal is to make this digestible and for people to see like everyone can get into football because people like sports. People like the Eagles. They like to see a win, but understanding the game and really getting to enjoy it and celebrate moments during the game is probably one of the best parts of it all. Yeah. And I kind of want to share that with everyone. Yeah. So women, men, if you don't know much about football, listen.
Cool. That's cool too.
And you know, you can learn a little bit about wine, try it out with your partner, whoever that might be, and just kick back. But thank you everyone for tuning in. Tell a friend, like, share, comment, do your thing. But until next time, peace.